Throughout Malaysia's economic reforms, small and medium businesses have always played a role in the growth of our economy, and women's contributions have been invaluable. Hello everyone. Globally, women have not always been recognized for their contribution to global development and growth. We know that women entrepreneurs are a vital part of Malaysia's economic growth, and we are supporting them. We also want to recognize female representation in maritime. I'm Deborah Henry, and this is Women Talk.
And I'm Siti Saleha. I'm excited to be co-hosting with you, Deborah, on another amazing episode. And joining us today, we have two successful business owners who will be sharing with us their journeys and experiences. Please welcome to the show Mandy, Leong, and Yasmin Abdul-Karim. Thank you for being here with us.
Hi. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here, ladies. So despite what many think, women have always been involved in commerce and trade. And I think perhaps it's not really spoken about enough. And now with changing times, with more opportunities, we see women entrepreneurship on the rise over the years especially. And you see it in the forms of in big business, in the corporate sector, but also these accidental home businesses where someone started a business and before you know it, they've blown up. So both of you have very successful businesses. Can you please tell us a little bit more about your businesses? We can start with you, Yasmin.
Okay, so Pops Malaya was born actually in a home kitchen. I was a single mother. I had a toddler clinging to my legs, and it was still a side hustle for me. I was working a full-time job, so at night I would be making my popsicles, and during the weekends I would be selling it at food festivals around town. So fast forward 6 years later, now we operate from a 4-story, 50,000 square feet factory.
Fantastic.
We are HACCP GMP ISO 22000 certified, and we export to 7 countries.
Wow, that's like your story in a nutshell.
And how about yourself, Mandy?
Yeah, I started my business during my school time when I was studying from 6. And I sell to my friends and others, and I became a wholesaler. And at last, I launched a brand, and now we are in 1,700 over stores in Malaysia for FMCG channels. Yeah.
What are the characteristics required to become successful, just like the two of you?
I think take the risk. Yeah, I think be very coverage, and you need to determine to and focus to what you're doing right now.
It's a calculated risk.
Yes.
Not too. Yeah,
or you're just like, let's wing it and see what happens, sort of.
I think that time I was like too innocent to do whatever that I really want to do. Yeah, so that time I just humped out everything that I have in my bag.
We'll try it all, see what works.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Yasmin?
For me, when I started out, my mindset was completely broken. There were things that I thought I should know, but I didn't. And of course, there was never enough funds. But I had the audacity to believe that I could be resourceful enough to just figure things out along the way and make it happen.
But often there's this narrative out there that, a lot of women, if you have a business idea, if you're, as you were doing a sort of a home-based business, when you look to taking it to the next level and you say hey, there's something here, do you get that right support? Do you get people just sort of go, oh, okay, it's nothing, she's just like a mom, it's for fun, it's something she does on the weekend? How do you get people to take you seriously?
What's most important is traction, because you need to be able to prove that you are able to land your first customers, for them to buy your products at the price point where you are able to make a healthy margin. As families are concerned, I think it's important to reframe the narrative. Sometimes you feel that, oh, my family is not rooting for me, they're not supportive enough, whereas if you flip it around, actually perhaps they love you too much that they can't bear to see you fail, given how risky business is.
You must have a very good product or good service that you really deserve what the customers pay for that.
Right, I think that's a really valid point.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a quick commercial break now, but when we come back, touching on your point, Yasmin, you can have a great business idea, but if you don't have the money, the funding behind it, it may not go anywhere. So we're going to find out a little bit more about, budding entrepreneurs out there, how you can get the moolah. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back to Women Talk. Today we're discussing women making waves in business with our two guests, Mandy, Leong, and Yasmin Abdul-Karim.
So just before we went to break, we were talking about fundable ideas, right? And you can have the best business idea in the world, but you don't have the money, it's going to be hard to grow. So how did you guys navigate that somewhat scary world of raising capital for your business?
When it comes to SME funding, there's several options. There's crowdfunding, which is like a poor man's IPO. Then you have soft loans, and also you have grants issued by the federal and the state government. The most coveted is, of course, the grants, because you don't have to give away your equity. There's no interest most often, and you don't even have to pay it back. But of course, the government would expect some form of return on investment, just not in the monetary sense.
Right.
So sometimes they give up funds to empower minority entrepreneurs, women, or to reward innovation. Like as for myself, we receive grants from Matrade to offset international exhibitions, from HDC, which funded our audit for food safety management, many others like MTDC. They gave us grants and loans to increase our capacity. So KPDAN, HEP, Serimara, you just have to, do your research on what are the grants out there and, pursue it.
Yeah, there actually are a lot of agencies out there that provide different types of grants, as you mentioned, different levels, different businesses. You got to look for it.
So Mandy, how about yourself? Because you are in the cosmetic world, right? How do you see the competition? I'm sure, especially the local brands,
super competitive.
They're doing a lot of things, and there's dropships lah, and like agents lah. So how are you doing with the competition?
Yeah, I think during this pandemic, the last 2 years, right, is really, really harmful to the whole beauty industry. And I actually managed to survive is because we actually pivot the business from color cosmetic to skincare, which are actually more in demand. And also, for example, most people are wearing masks right now, right? So we have to launch some of the new products that can help to remove the maskne, that the acne that caused by the mask.
Oh, that's a new term. Maskne.
Yeah, sort of that. And we actually utilize the influencers, traffics and leads. Currently they are very famous on TikTok and all this. We tried to launch some campaign and some promotions to monetize the followers. By educating them, the good way and also the correct ways of using the makeups and all, like how to take care of the skin.
Yes.
I think it's been a big test for so many small businesses. You have to adapt to stay alive. Otherwise, there just wouldn't be a possibility.
How do you keep the business going? I'm sure every morning you're writing new ideas, right?
You have to have a strong to-do list.
Exactly. But as you were mentioning earlier, Yasmin, you talked about Halal Development Corp. So we want to take a little video and see this is what they had to say when it comes to access to funding.
HDC is an agency under the Ministry of International Trade and Industry that acts as the central coordinator for the halal industry that promotes participations and facilitates the growth of industry players in the developments of Malaysia's halal ecosystem. Our role as the industry development is to increase the competitiveness of the inclusive halal industry via the 4 focus areas that industry governance, which looking at the policy and governments, industry competitiveness toward SME internationalizations, and we have one iconic program that is Halal Sourcing Partnership Program, or also known as HSPP. HDC also provides solutions for businesses to excel in the market spaces through our services in training in halal best practices, audits and consultations in businesses and halal certifications, and also through our halal integrated platform that provides a bridge between halal local industry players with other stakeholders. The Malaysian government has provided many linkages for financial assistance, especially for local businesses to benefit. HDC, through our halal integrated platforms, offering financial assistance at a better rate compared to the normal rates. During the pitching sessions, Pops Malaya has been selected as a potential supplier to Lulu Group International, but still they have gaps that need to be addressed. The 2 identified gaps are, number 1, the needs of international certifications, HACCP. In year 2020, Pops Malaya has been awarded with HACCP certifications. With this certification, the company improved their product quality and consistency, increase their market access, and increase customers' confidence level towards their products. The second one is branding, that is digital branding. In year 2021, HDC has awarded Pops Malaya with digital branding facilitation with Google. With this facilitation, it's helped to increase the company's visibility, obtain quality leads, and increase their sales.
Wow. So I'm sure like there's a lot of people out there who wants to start up, and they have a lot of business ideas. So what are your advice out there for those who want to start up? How do you encourage them to take it seriously and hold on to that passion and ambition?
If you are measuring yourself against people who are chapters away from you, it's just going to be very overwhelming. And also I feel that execution is key. You can have the best ideas in the world, but the most important thing is if you have a business plan, make it happen.
Yeah, I think if you have a very good product and you have a very good service that you really want to deliver to your consumers, and you have the missions that you want to achieve, don't care everything, just go for it first. Yeah, then you will know how you will figure out during the journey.
Yeah, so it's a learning process, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. And finally, advice. Being where you are today, knowing what you know now, is there advice you would give to yourself all those years ago, or advice, to someone out there?
You have to, aggressively pursue opportunities. Sometimes business is about, luck meets preparation, meet God's blessings in a sense. And also sometimes it takes patience to wait for the outcome, the fruits of your labor, to finally be able to harvest that.
My advice is that if you want to do a sustainable business, don't do for money. Yeah, do for value. Yeah, because of the money will come. If you are really achieving your missions and you want to do something and creating the values to the society, the money will come later.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant advice. Very often we're so focused on money and we're not actually delivering quality products, value. At the end of the day, people like value, they want value. And I think Malaysian shoppers are also becoming a lot more discerning in terms of how they spend their money as well, right?
Yep.
Well, brilliant. Thank you so much, ladies, for being on the show with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and thank you. And we wish you all the best. You've surfed the pandemic. You're still here. And, onwards and upwards.
Keep it going.
Thank you. And we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to be moving on to our special segment, Women in Maritime.